Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Truba Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Is the South African Rand racist? I know it is such a bizarre topic, but headlines in the media have made it seem like the South African Rand favors the DA during the Government of National Unity cabinet negotiations. Hello, my name is Reneilwe Morema, and I am your host right here on the African Diaspora News channel, reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa. I saw headlines in our local media outlets that said Rand slips as uncertainty around GNU casts pale. But the most interesting headline was on News 24 that read, Rand plunges after DA threatens to walk away from Government of National Unity. And that headline blew my mind. Like, is the Rand heavily dependent on white people to strengthen? Is the Rand racist? Can the president's choice of cabinet have implications on the path of economy? It seems that the South African Rand has experienced fluctuations recently, influenced by political events such as the national elections and ongoing negotiations regarding the formation of a government of national unity. The Rand tumbled to an almost 2-week low after the DA threatened to walk away from the Government of National Unity over a disagreement with the ANC over the proposed composition of cabinet. Investors have been awaiting news on what South Africa's cabinet might look like ever since the ANC lost its outright majority for the first time since democracy in the country's watershed 29 May general election. Initial market euphoria at signs the ANC and DA were willing to lead the formation of South Africa's first government of national unity since the late 90s soon gave way to uncertainty as political haggling over the proposed composition of cabinet threatened to derail the process. Negotiations between the ANC and DA took a turn for the worse after President Cyril Ramaphosa altered the terms of an earlier offer to the John Steenhuisen-led party on Wednesday night. The revised ANC offer proposed only 6 cabinet seats for the DA, but crucially replaced an offer for the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition with the Ministry of Tourism. This has angered the DA's leadership, which has now threatened to walk away from the Government of National Unity unless Ramaphosa sticks to his original offer. Let me break this down for you guys. Africa is a mineral-led continent, and South Africa being the hub of Africa, it has become the interest for billionaires around the world for our minerals mainly. Our minerals alone are responsible for these multi-billion-dollar industries around the globe. The markets want to base their investments and their wealth on what happens in the South African political situation. And that is why they interfere in our politics a lot, because politics creates an environment that is conducive for their business growth. And if politics aren't running properly, the businesses cannot flourish, especially in South Africa because of our minerals. Countries around the globe depend on our minerals for their survival. Whenever regime change wants to happen, billionaires, the banks, and the private sectors, they always scare the people by saying, if you appoint this person or that person as minister, the rand will drop. If the DA is not part of the Government of National Unity, the rand will drop. Or if the DA walks away from the Government of National Unity, the economy will collapse. Which is bull. Our continent is rich in minerals. We will never suffer. The people that make us suffer are the ones that deny us access to our wealth. But now they can see that we are getting smarter. We can see what belongs to us, and that scares them. So in return, they scare us by coining these big market terminologies. Of course, the markets will favor the DA-led GNU because the DA gives them access to our wealth. Which brings me to this question. Who is really running things in South Africa? Who is really running South Africa? Because billionaires are interested in our minerals, in our country, because whenever something big or something life-changing happens in the government, we never hear reports about policy changes or what it is politician wants to bring to improve our lives. It is always about the rand. It is always about the private market and the economy. If it was about the economy and about the rand, then majority of the people, which is black people, should have money. It only makes sense that way. I think where Cyril Ramaphosa and his private sector people in the Stellenbosch Mafia messed it up is when you want to create wealth for yourself, take care of the poor and the middle class. Make the poor and the middle class have enough money to be able to spend so the economy can grow and the country can flourish. Not put political puppets like Fikile Mbalula in government to scare people. If you do that, if you do this, the rand will drop. Just by the DA being involved in the government of national unity, we saw the rand stabilize. Just because of a white-led political party, which is a minority in the country, we see the rand stabilize. We see the rand gain momentum against the dollar. We see the rand be dictated by the DA. So my question is the rand racist? Does the rand see race? Does it see black and white? Has it chosen a side? In the backdrop of this, we have the Reserve Bank, which we know is controlled by the private sector. So they are able to shake the rand up provided we follow their lead. And the DA is there to facilitate all of that. The DA is there to make sure that we follow in the private sector lead. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the link between the rand and politics. That is the link between the rand and the government of national unity, which the DA is heavily involved in.
Over now, I want us to assess this because I find that in politics, there are two types of people. One, there's the person who says, we don't care about the economy. They're very extreme to say, we don't care about the economy, let the rand crash. And I want to know from you, if you're one of those people, let me know in the comment section to say, I'm that person who's saying we don't care about the rand, let the rand crash. Then there's another type of people that's saying we care about the rand because the economies of scale that work around, they own property or they own investments, etc. And they care. Now, I want to break this down to you. The people that care about the rand in this country are the minority. Why? Because they have assets in rand, they have money in rands, and they are making money from the rand. Majority of the people in this country live in poverty. They don't care about the rand the way that those that have wealth care about the rand. There seems to be a very big disconnect. And the message that I would want to put out there, especially to the wealthy in South Africa, is to say, it doesn't make sense what you're doing. You can't continue to be afraid of what's going on with the rand when you're keeping majority of the people in the country poor. If majority of the people in the country are poor, of course, they won't care about your bonds and your stocks and your rands because they have nothing to protect. But if they've got something, if they're able to have jobs, if they're able to earn, then they will care.
So the question is, if Ramaphosa chose otherwise, if Ramaphosa chose maybe to go with EFF or the MK, would it have a bad impact on the rand? Would the rand weaken against the big dollars, the euros in these global markets? Would it have detrimental effect on our economy? These are some of the questions. These are the type of questions South Africans need to ask at this point, because we can see that people are concerned about the rand. They are concerned about their assets and their businesses. But we, the majority of the country, the black people of the country, we are not getting any richer or poorer. So I say, if the rand is going to be racist, then off with the rand's head. Let the rand crash and burn, because it's not benefiting us. We are not benefiting from this so-called rand. So why should we care when the rand is strengthening or losing momentum against the dollar or the pound sterlings in these global markets? Why should we care? Because we're not benefiting anyway. So let it crash, man. Let the rand crash. What do you think about this segment? Do you think the rand is racist? Do you think the rand favors the DA? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Desk.